How's it going, everybody? This is Gerbil Beard, and I figured I'm going to start doing a new segment on the YouTube side of things. And while we're streaming this live on Twitch, um, I might just put some highlights or most of the bits of all the behind-scenes stuff of Lord of the Rings. We're going to start with Fellowship, of course, work our way through. I've never seen these yet. I do have the Oh, sorry, Fellowship. I do have the extended edition. But like I said, I never got into the behind the scenes videos, mainly because I almost didn't want it to. I didn't want to like lose the magic almost. But I think now's the time. Now's the time more than ever to dive into these behind the scenes footage. So this one's about an hour and a half on the disc. So I'm probably gonna do a part 1 and part 2. So let's just sit back and enjoy. Here we go.
I think we're getting used to this location. It's not the easiest one to transport people in. It takes us like probably about 40 minutes to ship in 30 people.
And yes, this is big day. 250, lots of it's with the army. We've got a few independents and they've travelled from all over the place, like Napier and Palmerston North, and we've got a whole heap of Wellington elves who've come up to be elves here again. So we've got a good strong bunch of regulars that keep coming back. It's a good location. It looks like the moon, but there's a lot of, ankle twisting and good knee snapping to be.
Really quick. I just started on my Twitch. Got to do a quick little plug here. Just started Lord of the Rings Online. Started playing that for the first time also. So if you want to follow me on that journey also, be sure to check us out on Twitch. All right. Sorry. That was the last interruption regarding Twitch. All right, let's go.
Done as the actual set is so small and they're making people run.
We've been using the army and we lost 5 orcs in the first day. Basically 2 to claustrophobia, 2 to twisted ankles, and 1 to a busted
Popped out
knee.
yeah.
So,
And in total it's 7 down, I think.
7 down, 7 to Rapehu, 0 to us.
Yep.
So,
Going through them like flies.
and the moss. I don't know if
Oh,
you've
the
heard about the moss.
moss.
Doc's probably round, but yes, we're only allowed to walk on the carpet, and you've probably seen a lot of carpet round. Oh God, we're probably standing on moss.
Actually,
And so it makes
It's
things a little
alright,
bit
it's just
difficult. Sometimes we've
dirt.
seen people going to war and then they're dodging moss instead of thinking about going to war. So we try and keep an eye on that.
but we're very environmental and everybody's very careful.
Go
Go
to
Doc,
moss.
go the moss.
Rocks. Rocks. Rocks.
Yep, only rock.
Moss. Oh, shit. Moss. Avoiding the moss. Going on to come. Avoiding the moss. Going on to the. That's great.
Oh, that's cool.
This is the biggest low-budget film being made anywhere in the world at this time.
They laugh,
Low-budget
but
film being made in the Wellington area.
In the Wellington area, it's the biggest low-budget film being made in the history of the planet.
I know.
I wonder if they knew
I've always
the
been asked,
impact.
All the actors have already said, with a budget like this, I can't believe we're like shooting in tin sheds. Where is all the money going?
Did you tell me
Yeah, I
to
do
build
wonder
these
why
things?
the moss was protected or is protected. That's interesting.
We're going to have Music of the Ring, which is a kind of almost beautiful elvish music. So it has this very sort of lyrical, seductive quality.
deceiving.
But Black Speech comes out underneath. There's this sort of bubbling, insidious, evil, whispering stuff, which gets louder as it becomes more obvious what it is. Its true nature becomes more known.
Right, so each of the ring wraiths are going to have a different sword, is that the idea?
That's right. This is the. We're trying to attain some sort of mythical reality, I think. And it has to look like it's been lived in and sweated in and broken and repaired. And if that feel can come across, then I think something will come through.
Good.
I've had requests again about people coming to view things as they happen. For instance, today, the makeup tests. I had to say no. I'm obviously going to have to do a memo. It's wonderful that everybody's interested, but we can't have people standing around watching actors doing their thing. They may never have seen it before, and it might be highly amusing and very interesting, but I just have to say again, everybody, the answer will always be no. So please don't ring and bother asking anymore, because the answer's going to be no.
Just so you know, one debate we're going to have with the Maori tribe there is the depiction of the peak. And I'm sure we're going to want to see it.
No.
You don't want to see it?
Well, should we just say we're not?
I think we'd probably win it. We just have to go through the argument, you know.
Well, it's interesting because I don't think we would see it, because if we're seeing the peak, we're going to want it to put in an exploding volcano, because Mount Doom's erupting the whole time, and if we're putting an exploding volcano in, we're probably going to make a more interesting looking peak.
Right,
because the peak doesn't look like shit from here.
Right.
The peak just looks, you can't even see it's a peak, it just kind of just goes up to a sort of a ridge line, and the and if we're going to Mount Doom, we just want a big cone blasting away up there. So
PJ, man.
In a funny kind of a way, it's a situation where we'd point our cameras up there, but we might then.
I wonder how many people were listening to him like this.
CG.
So we can tell them that we
And going like,
yeah. Be very honest and accurate to say that the peak will not be appearing in the film.
Right. Oh my God.
We're knee deep
Borman.
in a bit of a numerical challenge. We were talking about it yesterday. We feel like we're drowning by numbers in this department. It's because the complexity of it that we need, because we've got so many shooting units and there are so many doubles, both scale and big rig double. We had 64 Frodo outfits that we would need for the films and 32 Aragorns.
Wow.
And we were up to 133 bags, travel bags, for each of the characters. And as a consequence, the girls are feeling ever so slightly disheartened.
All of our stuff was supposed to arrive today, apart from trunk radios, is either not in the country or is in Auckland with customs. So they're scrambling, trying to find replacements. But I'm going to have to work tomorrow to sort of sort it all out, so the second unit aren't left too high and dry.
But they don't need walkie-talkies next week.
I just want to know what gear we've got and what gear they have, just so it doesn't end up there being anything missing.
At the moment, we've got everything.
It's going to be borderline. I'm waiting on some stuff to come over now, whether we've got enough stuff for Monday. I can make it work, but it's a bit of a shit fight. But yeah, just letting you know that at the moment.
But at the moment, I don't want you to work tomorrow.
I can't see another way getting it done.
The one thing that we're obviously going to deliver, and it's obvious we are, just from seeing, is we're in a sort of ILM or digital domain level of quality, probably better. I mean, there's every expectation that Gollum is going to be better than Jar Jar Binks, just in terms of his realism and his lip sync and everything else. You know, I mean, you sort of we're aiming.
Yeah, this is. Keep in mind, this is probably what 1998, the pre-production side of things.
Yes.
So they're not going to be any other radios to work with.
When did Phantom Menace come out?
Capital Communications bringing those 30 in case as standby.
Which 30? You said they weren't here.
We can do every shot that we've got planned for. If we would lower our sights to Lost in Space.
Gollum was way more like than Jar Jar.
But then we'd hire cheaper guys in who would just be happy to do it anyway. We'd be down to that quality. They'd get the shots for that sort of money. I mean, you know, there's options like that if they choose.
Well, you know, we've had these radios for ages. I'm not quite sure why we just haven't distributed them already.
Because I was waiting for the accessories to arrive and the trunking radios.
Right. Okay. I don't want it to work tomorrow. Thank you very much.
I'll drag Charlie in and really get into it with him, and I'll just see if there's something I can spot that can get rid of a couple of million at least, just to initially to get a head start on it and just see what we can do from there. Yeah.
Take Joe's salary out
I
of
feel like we fell in love with both Gollum for being evil and, you know,
If you
his
have a problem with that, take it out of my salary.
sympathize for him.
I've got her over there in
He definitely had more humanized characteristics than what Jar Jar did. You know, we got attached to Gollum in a specific way, and I think Peter knew that.
She's working all week trying to sort out the mess up there, and it's still not ready to be done. There's still people wanting more. She's battling with people trying to work out what they want. She cannot finish it by today. She has to work tomorrow. I will pay her. That's it. That's all. It's that easy. I'll do it. Take it
Stress. You can hear the stress.
What was that?
Normally we've got like a main unit of lighting.
I just realized I jumped from
which is where
disc
most of the lighting
2
goes.
to number
And then
5,
there's a
so
second unit which is not
we're not
quite as
going in
big as
order.
the main, not using as many lights perhaps. And then there's a miniatures unit again, which normally doesn't use as much lights, but on this job, each of those 3 units are as big as each other basically. The second unit almost has exactly what the main unit has in terms of lighting packages, distribution, grip
Commentary and
what have
reactions.
you. And the miniature
All right,
team, a lot of dimmers and that kind
I'll
of
try to
control
talk in
work.
between their talking
It's
so we can
huge
hear
on
what they
that
say.
scale. That's why we've got so much gear here laid out, ready to be distributed to the different units.
So we basically just sit here for most of the day and we talk about old movies. Keep our eye out for Rick Porras, the associate producer. Somebody just checks the window, sees if he's approaching, and when we see Rick coming, we start doing some story calls.
I think it would be hard
so If
to.
you bring this part here, with this one, this is one
Your
with
your director comes walking in, and he looks like how Peter did,
So it's a fun
like
day,
that.
good day.
Oh gosh,
Last of the
I'm
summer
kind of
days before we start the hell of shooting, really.
might be turning into that. Look at this. This is
Our storyboards also go into the animatics, and the animatics are like a little movie version of the film that we make in advance.
this is like the head of like
shooting,
the start of
where we film our
how
storyboards
films
with a
did
video
things
camera, we then
with the
cut them
3D.
together on the Avid. It gives us an opportunity really to look at the film ahead of shooting. It informs us about the script, tells us if bits of the film don't seem to be working, if the pace isn't
Look at
quite right, if there's boring bits, if the
That's
momentum
almost like a shot
is
for shot
wonky,
of what
we
you
have a
see in
chance
actual
to fix
film.
it.
It's amazing.
What the brief for the tree was, that it was a very old, gnarled tree with long limbs that crept right out over Bag End, and that makes it a nice looking tree, but logistically it makes it very difficult in that it is so unbalanced.
I think
All
it's
leaves, which would
the timing
sort
of
been
which
picked off,
we
and
get
these are all
Lord of the
artificial
Rings
leaves
is
that
perfect
are wired
because
on.
it's
There's
right
about
between
250,000
the age of CGI
artificial
and
leaves.
still
So
like
we had 10 people
traditional
for, like,
movie
just on a week
making
and a half
magic.
wiring leaves.
That's why I think it still holds up to this day. They didn't rely so much on CGI, mainly because it wasn't there. And New Zealand is stunning, yes.
Plural, not singular.
That's right.
I've never seen this before.
The language of elves.
First of all,
Oop.
standing or sitting on there, and then you're going to climb over the back.
I wonder if there is
You have to
deleted
climb
scenes.
back, and then you can go around. So
Look at
your
that.
arm's dangerous there. That's all right. Yeah, okay.
Okay, Zane here hasn't been out at the big show for a while, and he's ready for the ramp now. Come on, Zane.
It feels like a million different moving parts.
Oh my gosh.
Connected, they're just attached.
Nice.
There's really nothing you can do to train for it other than get up in them and walk up and down.
These hands work as the same scale as the rig, but they also
Whoa.
hopefully double to show human contact with the hobbits and helping with the scale.
That's insane.
And some cabbages, and those 3 bags of potatoes that we lifted last week, and then the mushrooms the week before. Yes, Pippin. My point is, he's clearly overreacting. Run!
Yeah, the practical effects definitely they aged perfectly. Some of the battle sequences in Return of the King, okay.
Elijah has to fall down onto the ground.
It was very serious shot.
Falling down onto Billy with me by his side near his anal passage, and as he fell down, he let go a little burp.
Elijah's laugh is the best.
That was great, guys. Have you got
If you guys see, you guys should look it up after this. There's like a whole video of Elijah laughing. It's great.
And my eyes were nipping, and it was really, really sore. And I was almost sick. And even the thought of it now.
My nose and ears were bleeding.
Yeah, they were.
You gotta love your castmates.
They are like the knockoff of the Beatles.
Is this a suggestion?
No.
Is this an aspiration?
It's aspiration. Have you seen Elijah's ears? Okay, well they're looking good. But it's very important that you get an indiscernible blend down onto that.
Gandalf.
If you don't know what you're doing, you can basically send your knees through your chin.
Oh yeah. I remember this scene in theaters with my cousin and my brother. Cousin and brother. It was like the first big action scene of the movie, and this is where I was just like, I remember looking down the aisle to my brother and my cousin, being like,
I'm
It
just going to
just-
pop the second unit of
it was yeah. I literally for being as young as I was, I don't remember. I remember where I was for the Two Towers and Return of the King, but for the Fellowship, for not knowing anything about it and having my cousin take us, and not really knowing what to expect. For those that have obviously seen this film, everything that happens is just
I suppose you for a dance. What, me?
yeah.
Just walk up.
It was yeah. There's a lot of firsts.
So this Elijah guy, you know this Elijah Wood guy?
Yeah.
Have you spoken to him?
Yeah, a couple of things.
I was speaking to him today and he's just been a real idiot. He's like,
Hey!
how are you? Sit
How are
down,
you,
man.
How are you? Hey, good. This party seems cool, isn't it?
Elijah Wood.
Hey, I've got a present for you.
How about I am?
I've got a present for you.
A present?
Yeah.
What for?
Oh, just for, yeah. Nothing.
Yeah?
Just something I picked up.
You deserve one, man.
That's cool. You guys
I'm gonna go and get it.
All right. Yes. Next time, I'm going to punch him right in the
I already did that to him the other day, man.
Yeah?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
He cried as well. He's like,
Hey, mate!
hey, what's going on? Got an apple. hey.
Hey, guys. I've never met friends like you before on a set.
Shut up.
No, honestly, I mean it.
Nah, I would agree with that as well. You know about my apple?
Never been so close to two people in my life. Yeah.
You know about my apple? Who's that? Be an extra.
No idea.
He's jabbering all the time. I sat down, talking to you, trying to run my lines.
Right.
Jabba, jabba, jabba.
Yeah,
I was
constantly trying to interrupt.
And I'm busy with.
Hey!
Billy boy.
Hey, how are you?
Hey!
All right.
Billy boy.
It's too good.
We need to get back up in a minute or two, I think.
Will we going back up?
Yeah, I think so.
I can't wait to do this scene with you.
Yeah, we'll have fun, eh?
You're just so
No,
giving.
I think that's us.
Wouldn't feel like work, I guess. You know, if that was every day. New Zealand, you know, you're just
There's one coming into land and then there's
Playing
three
pretend.
small ones, but you'll be fine. I'm the plane spotter out here at the airport, and the studios is behind us, and I have to tell them basically when the planes are coming overhead because we have to stop the filming. Some of the actors are a little bit more testy than others. Some like it through rehearsals, some just when we're shooting.
wow.
And basically,
That's a nice way of
it's a great
saying
job
some
because
some
I get
actors
to
are
have fun all day
cool,
long,
some are,
and,
you know,
read
over
books from the
dramatic.
plane. Occasionally I'll pop back for a little food, but apart from that, I just spot the planes.
Shoot, I'd take that job any day.
We could try and get a shot that comes in through the doorway.
Where does the ring fall? Get left?
It gets left on the floor by the fireplace, and then
Yes, that's-
we want to be able to look back through at Gandalf and Frodo sitting on the floor here.
Oh, this is cool.
Kitchen stove here.
Wow.
That's the table, so
So Gandalf might be seated up.
that's about as far as
Good.
we'd go.
So if we have Gandalf
Sitting up
sitting
in
up
there.
here, and possibly Frodo in the foreground.
Built those.
So we're moving in and
Those
Gandalf
miniature
is sitting
sets.
right on the chairs there. In fact, if we had, if we turned the chair around so that he had his back to the fire, we might
Keep him
get a slightly
that way.
better picture.
Rubber cement.
Slightly better
yeah, because it's easier.
I mean,
We've had to build this facade
facade.
3 times. One for this set, one for the large set, and one for the large set up in Hobbiton. So we've got to replicate this part of it twice, and then do the big set
See,
in Hobbiton as
no,
well.
I feel like if I was like him and I was working on,
All the
like,
furniture's
my
gotta
job
be
is to
built in 2
replicate
sizes.
sets or make sets.
This is for
me,
mainly for
probably in the film
Gandalf
industry.
when he visited Bilbo and Frodo.
Yeah, I'm just making another movie. You know what I mean? It's just another regular film, unless he knew about Lord of the Rings. But I wonder if he knew what he was building was going to you know, just
It is a bit spooky.
be this historic, I guess you could say. Iconic, thank you. Iconic. Yeah.
Well, they should have the checkers standing behind the other doorway, please, Joe. The same way we've got.
I wonder how many people said no to Lord of the Rings helping out and then wish it kicked themselves.
Set and action.
I feel like that's probably why you got quality people working on this film, you know? Yeah. Look at that.
When we hold the tongs out, it'll be a thing where you'll have to put your hand out here, and the tongs will be over here. You know, it's a sort of.
I've done a few film sets, nothing to this extent, but yes, there is a lot of standing around time. So I.
What are you doing?
His shoes.
Burning. Just watch it for burning, and then.
Now I will know. In this shot, Elijah Wood is in sneakers. In this shot right here.
It's quite cool.
Hand comes up, pop it in, and then just go back to your eye lines again, your cheated ones.
Oh, can you see? Can you see anything?
Sir Ian.
Something sort of that's quite. You know what I mean? It sort of has a.
Sam,
Okay.
if there was one person,
All right,
and I
well,
know
why
Peter
don't
Jackson,
we
I've heard him say it before,
so we
that
can have
deserved.
Richard and the other camera. You guys set up this for handheld. Yep. Yeah. Okay.
There's one-
That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good feeling. Now, should we just try it with Kieran? And Sean.
I'm blanking
running
on
the
his
same
name.
lines
Sam's
off
name.
Camera here, so you, Sean and Kieran.
Sean Bean. No,
So you've got a
not
back
Sean
camera,
Bean.
Kieran?
Sean Austin. He deserved an Oscar for sure in this film.
I was just cutting the grass under the window, if you follow me.
And Gandalf, yeah, Sir Ian definitely deserved it too.
I heard Ray's voices.
You're actually telling the truth.
Honestly, a lot of them did.
We never speak of it again.
A lot of actors deserved. But Sir Ian, he's awesome. He's an awesome guy.
There's one other who you put behind the ring. Got him.
If I could pick one actor, I think, from the whole Lord of the Rings to sit down and talk with and talk about Lord of the Rings, and not just because he's been in even The Hobbit, but I think it would be Sir Ian. I think I'd pick him. Because I don't know if you've seen him in any other interviews and stuff that he's done. He's pretty funny.
Well, apart from the performance. What? The timing was really good.
Yeah, Sam is Sean Austin. Yes.
Oh, my staff's still in the other room.
So you can listen to yourself, and when you
Yes.
hear turn, you can just sense that spot. So when you do it without the playback, you'll be able to feel the position of the camera for when you should be turning around. You know.
We put it away. We keep it hidden. We never speak of it again. No one knows it's here, do they? Turn. Do they, Gandalf?
Is that a chicken in the background?
That is so utterly confusing.
That's totally confusing.
Did it look alright?
Yeah, you can.
That is bizarre.
Flash.
Oh, wow.
And action. All right.
No way.
We put it away. We keep it hidden. We never speak of it again. No one knows it's here.
I would have
do
never
they?
thought that was an overlay.
Turn. Do they, Gandalf?
Dang.
You're basically just
Yep.
No, but you can put your elbow down there.
That's cool.
The more down there you are, the better it looks actually. You know, it goes back to the fire. No.
And action.
It is the master ring.
In, gone, e, up, ra.
We had videos made by an expert in Elvish, and
This man has studied the language. He knows how it sounds. He's put it all down on tape for us, and so we've used him and Tolkien's words, Tolkien's book.
How is it?
Very odd. Oh, very odd. I mean,
We all know I would fail tremendously at this part.
It's much
If I had to
better for the
memorize
actor
or
to find,
read Elvish.
the accent in finally before looking at the script from spontaneous thought and speech. If the actor can use the accent in his or her spontaneous speech, it means
It is crazy that
it doesn't
Tolkien
matter
came up
what's
with
in
his
the
own
script,
language.
wouldn't you
They
think?
can handle anything.
They can then do anything that's thrown at them.
My next stream is all Elvish. Heck no. You saw when I was playing today. I couldn't even.
As I go over my lines in embarrassment.
It's okay, Frodo. I do the same.
Okay, let's just check your speech. We're not in
Like how the person's all puts their camp. Like, come on. The guy's got to still do what he's got to do behind the scenes. Elijah does not age.
And it's snug in the scabbard. All the swords have a very slightly rounded off point, supposedly for safety, but if you tried hard enough, they would still go through somebody.
Right.
It's just to reduce the risk to the actors a little bit. Actors don't like bleeding unless it's on cue.
I would have loved to be on the
professional sword
behind the
maker for about
scenes crew.
12 years
You just
now,
kind of worry about
6 of those have
documenting
been
things.
full-time.
And
Since I've started here,
of course,
I've
I would
been
have also
working
liked
on
to
things that
put up,
the swords
be
I've
able to
dreamed about working on, and I've also
place
had nightmares
something
about
that's
some of
on
them.
camera, like
Since
a
I
plant or
started
something.
here,
Even
I've
would have been cool.
probably made 40 or so hero
Yeah.
swords, 60 plus aluminium swords for the stunt work. And I've also worked on all sorts of other things, like 100 or so weapons made out of EVA foam for background work.
I wish they would tell you. I'm sure it's somewhere. I wish they would just tell you though when this is taking place, before filming or during them filming, or if they overlap during. You know what I mean? How far out did they have to make all of those before production started?
I had a friend who was really into sword fighting, and
I guess
he
how long was
tried it out,
pre-production?
but,
So
his one was pretty heavy. I remember finding it quite difficult, so it'll be interesting.
Action.
I haven't slept in maybe 2 days or 2 hours over the last 48. Lots of dancing, about 9 hours, and but yeah, no, fully into it.
And action.
fully into it.
2, 3, and 4. Okay, once again.
What the? What is this guy wearing?
1.
Are they all in boxers? The other guy right there is in boxers.
And 4. Okay, one more time. The voice up a bit, don't. Yes, sir. On guard.
Yeah, where is all this stuff?
And action. Okay, you didn't see another one? Action.
Urukai.
Okay, yeah, places.
I've only got one thing to say.
Oh, there he is.
Summed up my whole. You can't be.
Yeah, we'll blame the lack of clothes on the heat, I'm sure.
Wonderful. I think the majority of people watching a sword film
That's
love
cool.
the action, the sword play. And I have a saying about swords that through life you have a constant struggle between
Nice.
good and evil. And in the old days they used to settle that with the sword.
Oh, so he's an orc.
That means
Got
you're
it.
standing with a sharp sword, eyeball to
Then they
eyeball,
go limp like
with
a
the
bonefish.
goodie or the baddie, whichever you want to be. And you need to have a lot of courage to carry out that act. With a sword, death has some dignity to it.
Wow.
They really do work.
It's pretty amazing, isn't it?
Where can I get some? Hey, dude, look at that. Bitchin'.
What? So, according to BBC, most of the stuff here was sold in auctions. Dang.
I was so excited because I've been hanging out for about 2 years. When I first heard the movie was going to production, I actually wrote a letter. I would have been about 16 or 17.
Yeah, I wish I was old enough to know.
To be part of it.
Yeah.
And now finally, woo!
That's how I want to do with the Amazon series that they're gonna do. Hopefully.
You can't get in unless you've got these lovely pointed ears. You know, they're a requirement. You just, I mean, if you haven't got them, you don't get in.
Also handy for the Star Trek movies.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Trying to find
Wow.
extras. We really, it's important to get people that are really into it and that aren't, I don't know, that aren't annoying.
Back and put them behind there so they can come through.
When you have such specific physical types like elves and things like that, everybody can't be an elf, so therefore my pool runs out. We've got 300,000 people in Wellington, and I'm trying to find a pool of
300,000?
very tall, very beautiful, aged between 16 and 30, supermodel, available 24 hours for 2 years.
So
Yeah,
they had about 2
that's
years of, it sounds like,
We're really
pre-production
kind of
or
stretched
being able.
at the moment. So this is quite a big job for me to try and make sure that the good ones get in the front.
No.
Wow, that's.
He's falling into the shadow world. Will soon become a wraith like them.
They must have broke those
Today
lines
we've
up.
got the horse Florian, who plays the part of
Oh,
Asphalov,
Bill.
Arwen's horse. It's his first day on set.
Oh.
We can train him for all sorts of things like noise and fans and smoke and lights and mirrors and cameras. We can't reproduce 100 people on set.
No.
So it's all a little bit, let's see what happens, and I think he'll be pretty right though.
Whoa, don't bite me.
Set.
Don't bite me.
Ow, 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 ow. That hurt. Why'd you do that? All the rock. You are out.
Why'd you do that?
Dead right.
Where is the end of the shot?
Cut it there, please.
Okay, got
So spring on one.
Strings and shot.
Strings on two, and you do very slow.
So Liv comes up and grabs him back, pulls him back into the...
Retrieving him back up on.
Which would be nice, just really to...
Well, should we do the hit as well if we're going to do that? Or no, you happy with the You want a one like that? Oh God, it's raining.
Guys.
We have the worst luck in the world.
Do we... This rain is going to trash the costumes, just sort of give it a chance to ease.
Oh wow. Let's look at that. That would put a damper on things. Oh. Alright, I'm going to pause it there. We're going to do part 2 in the next video. It's been about 30 minutes. So I'm thinking about 30 minutes per video. I think there's another about 30 to, it says an hour and a half. So this might actually be into 3 parts. So I'll see you guys on the next one. Part 2 will be next.